Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson, a World Alternative Media here, and of course we're joined by author and economic analyst here, I'm John Sneisen. And as Hurricane Irma passes through the Virgin Islands, through Puerto Rico, heading right for Florida, it's a Category 5, it's devastating. It has absolutely destroyed so much of Puerto Rico, and there are more than 1 million people without electricity, and they're saying it could be months before many of these people get their electricity back. Now, of course, it hit St. Bart and St. Martin far worse. It's devastated 95% of the islands, but Puerto Rico, there's a reason why the electricity is going to have to wait for a lot of people for a long time, because it's so outdated, and that's mostly due to the vast debt crisis, and I'm going to go into a few things soon on that subject. But John, what do you have to say about this?
Well, first of all, the huge issue here, of course, with Puerto Rico is that they're massively in debt. They have about $70 billion of outstanding debt right now, and it's just struggling under this. Of course, Puerto Rico is bankrupt, so they really are struggling now. It's, of course, they haven't filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, but I look at them as bankrupt. They're the same, unfortunately, as Greece, Italy, all these southern European countries.
Mm-hmm. And we've been reporting on that since last year.
Oh, yeah.
It's caused a mass exodus of Puerto Rico.
Yeah. There's lots of Puerto Rican, and maybe fortunate for the population that they actually did, pull out of Puerto Rico. Now, there's also another big issue with the power side of it, and a Newsweek article here says that they could be without power up to 6 months because of, it says here, in September 2016, Puerto Rico experienced island-wide outage of several days following a fire at a power plant. Facing approximately $9 billion in debt, PREPA filed for a form of bankruptcy in July. So there you go, like their main power plant is really struggling here, and their power company that takes care of all the power and infrastructure for the power on the island has filed for bankruptcy.
Well, go figure.
Yeah,
it's another one of those government monopolies too. I mean, this is what we so often go.
Well, this is where Manitoba Hydro is going. This province
in Canada, yeah. For those that have no idea what place that is, but it's really important to talk about how the free market provides much better than the government, because these are monopolies, and there's only one big monopoly. And look at all the destruction that this has caused. Look at all the inconveniences this has caused, and it's going to affect people's ability to feed themselves, to stay cool, because of obviously Puerto Rico is a pretty hot place. And it's just another one of those issues where if there was a free market solution where there are several companies or people were self-sufficient and produce their own electricity, they wouldn't be in this problem, or at least there'd be a lot less damage and it would be more easy to fix this problem. But because they depend on the indebted state, they are waiting possibly 6 months for electricity.
Which is horrifying. Like, in today's day and age, being without electricity, even for a week, could have devastating effect on the general population. So here you're looking at 6 months. It just gives me goosebumps just seeing what it could cost, in a city like Winnipeg or anywhere else. If you had, for example, a solar flare hitting, the whole grid and, eviscerating the grid. This is very similar, just that it's just a whole bunch of wind that's going to completely destroy a lot of the infrastructure, which, a bankrupt power provider can't, even be able to recover from.
Yeah, it can't function. And it's a tragic storm. I don't want to politicize this too much. I'm just talking about the ability of free individuals and how efficient people are when they work together as individuals, rather than depend on the government to take care of them when something like this hits. And of course, we are going to see a lot of struggling, a lot of pain, and a lot of people dead. Unfortunately, it's tragic, as I said. Hopefully we will, on top of that, see a lot of people striving to help each other as we did in Hurricane Harvey, which I know we will. And that is the only upside to these horrible situations where we see just vast chaos and destruction by the power of nature. And we will obviously continue covering it, but it's just so important to work as individuals. And if you want to help out, of course, look towards, don't look towards the Red Cross. They rip people off. Look towards, different charitable organizations. I know the Liberty Coalition for Disaster Relief has done a lot of great stuff for Harvey. Check into stuff like that.
Well, it's very important here. The whole lesson behind this should be our dependence on the government. That's the problem. We're waiting for the government to tell us different things. We're letting the government take care of us if we're in crises. What if everybody there was self-sufficient? They had proper amount of food. Maybe 1 or 2 months food supply. They had their own. A lot of them were off the grid with electricity. Mm-hmm. Think about what the impact would be then compared to what it is now. When you have a state-owned grid, people haven't prepared, a lot of them. So that's a big issue, and that's of course the problem with being taught that we're dependent on the government for everything. How about being independent of the government and start to protect yourself and teach that to everybody in your local community? Think about what what kind of resistance and resiliency you can have against all these natural disasters mm-hmm. that are potential in your area.
Yeah, and I wanted to just add something quick. It's been a little bit misreported. In the Virgin Islands, there is a report of massive gun grab where there was ammo seized. The National Guard was seizing ammo and guns. And while this has happened in a lot of hurricanes and natural disasters before, which led to a lot of chaos, we saw that actually in Hurricane Katrina. Yeah. And then the police who were beating and hurting a lot of people, a lot of these cops were doing that, they left, and then there's just a lot of looters, etc. And a lot of them were fending for their lives, but a lot of them were just, bad people, yeah. And everyone was defenseless. But in this case, the Virgin Islands, as this article from the Daily Caller says, Virgin Islands allow National Guard to seize guns, ammo ahead of Hurricane Irma. I want to clarify that they're seizing guns from gun stores, not people, not citizens, because they can't legally do that. They're actually seizing guns from stores if they need it. But why do they need it? And why, is the announcement so shady? Governor Kenneth Mapp, who signed this emergency order, was very vague on Tucker Carlson on September 6th during the show. He didn't really explain why it was happening, who exactly it was being taken from, etc. So there's a lot of vague stuff involved in a lot of these natural disasters as FEMA kind of kicks in and does whatever they want, and there's a lot of corruption and a lot of extortion and a lot of really bad things that happen. I know up in High River, Alberta, a few years ago, there was a massive
flooding.
Yeah, absolutely, and they went door to door seizing guns and ammo, and they stopped people from going back and looking at their houses, and they put them at gunpoint. It was a really messed up situation, and it still hasn't been there hasn't been any justice found in any of those cases.
Well, I have a colleague that's looking at getting a gun license right now here in Canada, and he said if you actually say that it's for self-defense, you would never get that license. Yeah. For a gun. So that's here you go. You don't protect yourself. That's a very dangerous thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really crazy. This world is going more and more insane by the day, but that's why we are here at WHAM, to try and provide some people some solutions like self-sustainability, individualism, voluntarism, the ability to steer free from the extortion of the state and the inefficiency of the state. Because what they do is they extort you, and then they use that money to pay for things that they do much worse than the free market does. The free market does things so much better on a voluntary basis. That's fair. What's greedy is state extortion and inefficiency. John?
Yeah, well, it's independence is the right word here, and of course in individualism comes the same thing. So that should be just the final thing here, where we got to take care of ourselves. Yeah. That's the number one thing here, and we talk about that so many times with all different types of aspects, and just not falling for the easy and the safe bet on relying on anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Self-governing The non-aggression principle and helping your fellow neighbor is more important than ever when there is a natural disaster. And I know that there's a lot of great people who watch us in Puerto Rico who, well, I don't even know if they'll be able to watch this video because the power's out for over 1 million people. But I think that there's a lot of great people there that will heed this warning and hopefully do whatever they can to help those around them, and hopefully other people, if they're in peril, help them. And I really think that this is an example of this is where you see the best people in society come together as individuals and help each other. And I think that will be the bottom line for this report.
Yeah, and hopefully if anybody in Puerto Rico knows anybody in Puerto Rico are, you know, putting together funds or for money and everything, please let us know, and then we'll share it in our stream under our YouTube video.
Absolutely. Let's just stay away from the Red Cross, guys. And until next time, thanks for watching, everyone. This is Josh Sigurdson and John Sneisen signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth.
Be the change.
Now to sound like an auctioneer. Thanks for watching, everyone. Check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so vastly demonetized and censored by YouTube as they bring in the Anti-Defamation League to flag all of our content as hate speech. Also check our Bitcoin address in the description in the comments, as well as on the screen for you to scan if you please. And don't forget to check me out at Josh Sigurdson at Steemit.com. That's Steemit.com, the future of social media, where you get paid via cryptocurrency, Steem that is, by the upvote and demand of your post. It's bound to take out the dinosaur social media, so I hope to see you there. But until next time, check out this word from our sponsor.
Are you looking to exchange a large amount of US dollars? Don't overpay with the bank on currency exchange. Think outside the bank. Banks charge unnecessary fees of up to 3%. Truth be told, currency exchange with the bank will cost you hundreds to thousands of dollars. Start saving now. Step 1. Register online. Visit our website and click Get Started. Step 2. Book a transaction. Phone us for a quote and to complete the transaction. We'll need to know which currencies you are converting and how much. Step 3. Transfer of funds. Once you confirm the transaction, we initiate an electronic funds transfer from the account that you choose. Your purchased funds are then transferred back to you in the account that you choose within 1 business day. It's that easy. Start saving hundreds of dollars on currency exchange with CBCE. Sign up online or give us a call today.